not necessarily saying, I'm not invalidating anybody's experiences because I feel like it's all valid.
Not even think about your white privilege. And that right there is white privilege.
That said that if that Hunter Biden laptop story
have any arguments against that right now. And I want to see how it goes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, Mom. Tell us about your white privilege here. They're laying it out to you. What do you have to say?
What I'm getting.
I can't wait till your frat brothers are watching this.
They still are right now. I don't. They're kind of making it seem that I was born into it, and that us as whites have a better opportunity because of the subconscious mind.
No, just you. Just like
me?
You have a better opportunity.
Yeah, just me. Sure.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah. No.
Or you don't see it?
Maybe I don't. Yeah, sure. I don't see it. Let's go with that.
All right. So, okay, that's cool. Got it. So this is, mind you, this is what we're dealing with, right? It's like we got to find a way to say it. We're going to come back to you for a second, bro. But in the meantime, we're going to come back to you real fast. Given what you said, it's built into society. So, you did nice, dude. What's your story?
I think the only reason why he can't fully express it, whether or not he agree or disagree with them, is because he don't think about those type of things. This dude is focusing on life. He's focusing on living. He's focusing on being in a fraternity and getting good grades and or just meeting as many girls as he can possibly meet, or just having fun while he's in college. This dude ain't thinking about being privileged as a white person. But then you will have black people say, see, that right there is white privilege, because you don't think about it. You can afford to walk through life on a day-to-day basis and not even think about your white privilege. And that right there is white privilege. You know what? I call BS on that. I call BS on that because I'm black, right? Some of y'all didn't know that. Some of y'all probably thought I was white. I'm not white, bruh. I'm not white. All right, I'm not a dark-skinned white, but I don't walk through life thinking about no white privilege. I don't think about white people. I don't think about white people being better than me. I don't think about white people being worse off than me. I don't think about white people, man. And in order for you to have white privilege in your mind, that white privilege is a thing and all this other stuff, you got to actually think about white people. You're in a position you're in because you're white. That means that you already put them in a position higher than you. You're comparing yourself to them. And that's something that I don't like doing. I honestly don't like to compare myself to anybody. I don't like to compare anyone to myself. I'm Van. That's it. My accomplishments are my own. My failures are my own. You feel me? What you eat don't make me poop. What I eat don't make you poop. When I go out there and grind and hustle, that direct deposit is not going to your bank account. When you go out there and grind and hustle, that direct deposit ain't going to my bank account. So I don't benefit off of your wins. You don't benefit off of my wins. Back and forth. So it's just one of those type of things that we need to get away from. But that's the whole point of this conversation. The whole point of this conversation is just to hear what's going on in their minds. And you need to also understand what's going on in their minds don't start from them most times. It starts from somewhere else. Someone else is teaching them this. And their algorithm pretty much put a stamp on it. Like, see, I seen something else, and I seen something else, and I seen something else. That's your algorithm. Those are things that you enjoy to watch. You enjoy to watch examples of people with better lives than you, and you want to attribute it to their race. That's crazy.
You're white, right?
Yeah. So my parents are divorced, and when they got divorced, my mom wasn't working. So it's kind of just been like slowly working up to where we are now. But even then, I would consider us pretty poor. Like, we've never owned a house. We've been running pretty much my entire life. My dad was remarried, and his family makes more money than us. But with me, my sister primarily living with my mom, I would consider us pretty poor.
I would consider us pretty
Okay, so
poor.
how do you incorporate her into it? Bro, you can join in on this. How do you incorporate that? Because you said it's built into society.
Yeah, it
she
is
must be
built
living in a
society,
different society.
But there's anomalies, like, at the same time. Like, I feel like white privilege and saying, oh, every single white person is, like, privileged. But at the same time, like, factually speaking, you know, your family, not you specifically, but people in general, their families are more likely to have generational wealth just because of simply the way, like, America is built. Like, you're built to more likely have privilege in society.
Okay. Bro, do you want to respond to her? Like, how would you incorporate her?
Well, I was also grew up kind of poor.
Where'd you grow up, bro?
Well, I grew up in Lothian. It's like a small town, kind of like pretty far east from here.
Okay.
It's like pretty depressed town.
So hot.
And
Okay.
then-
What, depressed?
Yeah, there's like a lot of like.
Do you-
It's actually mostly white, but I mean, there's a lot of people doing
Pretty
drugs. It's like
depressed
not a good
now.
place to grow up, and it was really bad environment. So like that wasn't white privilege. You know what I mean? So like, but I don't really think that has anything to do with white privilege, because like there's black people that are very rich and very famous, and there's white people that are very poor. It doesn't necessarily mean that white privilege doesn't exist.
So this doesn't negate white privilege. Well, how would you? How
No,
do
it's just an outlier.
Yep, I got you. How do you incorporate her story into it?
So I think that white privilege talks about how you can access agency, like what can you do? So like say hypothetically you're saying that you grew up poor, however you do attend a PWI, and I feel like that in itself gives you a privilege versus somebody who, let's say that was person of color in your situation, mom wasn't working, X, Y, and Z, would they still have the opportunity to attend Penn State? So I'm not necessarily saying, I'm not invalidating anybody's experiences because I feel like it's all valid, but what I'm saying is that white privilege sometimes gives you the freedom to access better opportunities, in a sense, solely off because you are white.
How do y'all feel about what she just now said? I have my thoughts on it, and I love how she articulates it. But at the end of the day, I don't think. Okay, your opportunities are created by you, regardless if you're white, black, or other. That's why these other cultures, when they come here, they kick our ass. Think about it. An African family can come here, start a business, and be thriving in no time. A Hispanic family could come here, start a business, and be thriving in no time. An Asian family can come here, start a business, and be thriving in no time. They have different ideals. They have different things that mean something to them. We've moved away from stacking our resources. We've moved away from having a lot of our family members in our space to save money, all right? Like bringing other people, like having 8 different people standing in an apartment or in a house so that we can save money, stack, and invest together. We don't do that. We've never done that. And it's not because it wasn't passed down to us. It's because we've always wanted our own. We've always wanted those liberties and those freedoms to do whatever we wanted to do. Those are the decisions that we made. And I'm talking about black, white, or other, whatever you decided to do. When you grew up with your own personal dreams to go out there and do whatever you wanted to do, that's exactly what you did. If you were afforded that, whether you was black, white, or other. But sometimes we like to put people in boxes and attribute it to their race, and that's not fair, although nothing's fair when you think about it. Monica, what's going on? Much love to you for giving a shout out to God. I appreciate that. She woke up on the right side of the bed today. Hallelujah. Yeah, but that's what I got to say about that, because sometimes we give people a pass for successes, and we undermine them by attributing their success to their birthright. Like, you were born white, so obviously you go here at a PWI. Well, young lady, you also attend this PWI. You could have attended HBCU if you wanted to. Also, young lady, if you and that white guy you're talking to were to walk into a government agency and try to receive a government contract for business, you will probably get it first. Why? Because you're a double minority, and double minorities have a certain pot set to the side just for them. Minorities have a pot set to the side just for us when it comes to work and government contracts, and they have billions of dollars set aside for it. And we just got to go out there and get it. But at the end of the day, whenever we try to explain whenever we start thinking about white privilege, and I'm actually appreciative of this professor for starting this conversation, because when you look in the audience, is many nationalities just in the audience itself. But culturally, We were raised different. Culturally, we are built different. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Really, it is. We need to accept our cultural upbringings, and we can still, acknowledge the fact that we started years late because of slavery or because of Jim Crow or because of any other things that was a part of the discrimination that tried to hold back Black people. And I say tried because it did not. Tried. It doesn't matter who started. If I start a company, my family will be first and foremost as far as who is most important in this company. And I'm going to structure it so that my family will be okay years down the line, and that they will have managerial positions, and that their offspring, my nieces and my nephews will have jobs in that company, in that organization. If they want it, I will make sure of that. All right. That's the same thing that happened when building this country. Now, they probably didn't keep it in the family, but friendships, business relationships, business connections. Who's going to help me get to that next level? I'm going to make sure I look out for you too. So the way that this country was built, a lot of people look at the United States as a country. I look at it as a business. I look at all of these countries as businesses, actually. And I think the U.S. is so successful because they built the country the same way the church was built. And I'm not going to go through that right now, but I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that. But I'm not giving anybody any type of pass for excelling past me. I'm not doing that. I'm not saying, oh, you did that because you're white. No, just because you're white don't mean that you're smarter than me. Don't mean that you're funnier than me. Don't mean that you have more connections than me. Don't mean that you take education or anything that will benefit your life more serious than me. You take family values more. Your family values are more important to you than they are to me. It don't mean none of that. At the end of the day, it all falls on our shoulders, regardless of the barriers that were in front of us or the barriers that are in front of us right now. So this is an important conversation, and most of us would just knock it out the way like it's not important, like it's nothing. That's cool too. Knock it out the way like it's not, like it's nothing. It's still there. It's still going to be the elephant in the room. It's still going to be something that you gotta address, or your children are going to have to address, or your children are going to have to address, because it's being discussed all over the world. This conversation is being had at a PWI, predominantly white institution right now, and it's been discussed all over America, because people are trying to get to the bottom of this. As long as we approach these conversations objectively, to listen to understand, and not listen to just debate, give our point and give our side so that we come out on top in the debate rather than the discussion, then everything will be all right. Everything will be all right.
Okay, so you said that really well. Like, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
No. You laid that. That's the point that you're going to lay out. It's like it gives you a certain amount of privileges just being white. However, here's the however. Man, you are walking on a razor's edge to say that, like, her being white somehow this in this some kind of microwave or whatever, like, gives. It's a razor's edge.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying that. But let's say, like, even as far as like funding, and I'm not saying you in particular, but I'm saying if it comes down, if you present your story and somebody else presents their story, who would get scholarships? Who would get funding? And I'm not saying I don't know your financial background. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that if you take a black person and a white person on equal playing fields, you go up in a poor neighborhood, drug infested, so on and so on, who has the better chances of making it out?
The black person has the best chance of making it out. Clearly, the black person has the best chance of making it out, young lady. Clearly. That's why we're built so rough, and that's why we can it's like an iron sharpens iron type of thing. You don't want anybody to grow up in those type of environments, but time and time again, many people that we know have lived in those environments, thrived in those environments, and got their tales about those environments. As a matter of fact, I won't even say black people. I'm not even going to say black people, because I'm only answering that question based off of my own understanding. All right. I'm only answering that question based off of my own understanding, because up until a certain point in my life, I only saw black people, all right, in those environments that you're talking about right now. But white people, live in those environments too. They do.